Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone. Back. Brissett going to go to the air right away. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and it's picked up by the Eagles. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and an Eagle touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands to try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower post-game. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. As we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM, it always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. From the gun, here's Brissett. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. These two teams had met earlier in the season in Philly with the Eagles winning that ball game. So they're trying to win here in Philadelphia to capture the season series. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Brissett. He's got his man. This is Tate. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 39. 17 yards that time and a Washington first.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They go play action with Brissett. He rifles one that's intercepted. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. And when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking to throw. Blake. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
Well, it's not the first time we've seen him give one up here during his rookie season. And in this case, zone coverage forced the mistake. He's made some strides week to week in how he's handling the different type of coverages that he's seeing. But clearly, there's some growing still to do.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He completes it to Tate. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Umpire threw the flag, usually always indicates holding, and that's what we've got.
And you know, depending on their positioning, where you are on the field, the umpires get different responsibilities, but always, always making sure no one's holding.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. To throw, Brissett. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, trying to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
18 Randall.
Off the play fake. Blake. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Cameron Curl. And the Commanders are going to have a short field here as they'll take over right at the 50.
A tough adjustment to the NFL throughout his rookie season, and his problem with turnovers is only exacerbated by his early showing today. That's a couple for him here in this first half, and he's cleared the double-digit mark for the entire season.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. And the Eagles are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Now, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted. Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down. Here's the option going left on second down. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. This would be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. Not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
On third down, Blake. And a throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part to get them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. 6-yard return after a punt of 48. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands. I can still hear it reverberate through this thick skull of mine. Crossing routes versus man-to-man coverage, it's a bad matchup for the defense. Those tend to work very well as they run away from a defender.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Washington. A great play there with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Commanders are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Even though they might not find the number 1 seed next to their name come playoff time, there's not going to be very many teams, if any, entering the playoffs on the kind of run they're on. They're hot.
And I love that word, hot, because every team in the league wants to go into the playoffs on that uptick. Because a lot of the time you serve notice to the rest of the league that, hey, we're the team you need to deal with. We're the team that's going to be a real problem for you. And if they can continue this streak, they could very well be that team and gain that confidence that they're seeking as they head to the playoffs.
And confidence, that's the word I would use from our meetings with them. They said we're playing our best football right now. It is showing.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball, let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete. The Eagles had 10-6 now on the year. And they've been playing their best football of the year. Winners of 4 in a row.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Officially nothing on that one. No gain. So they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because, you know,
and he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. Here's Aaron Siposs out now to punt on 4th down. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 7-7, our score after 1. Eight yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Now Brissett. Got this complete to Jahan Dotson. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Brissett. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Darius Slay with a pick. Well, CD, you know, when you mentioned earlier about spreading the ball around in this game, I don't think you mentioned the guys in the other uniform. With 4 interceptions here in the first half, and several different guys have picked him off.
Yeah, instead of analyzing what's going wrong with him, throwing the football, while we look at the defense, they came in prepared. Had an excellent game plan, well scouted, and they're taking it away at almost every turn.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
They go back to Pollard on second down. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sit through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. And this is caught by Watkins. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. 3rd and 4, he did just enough. I mean, just enough to move the chains.
And that's all you're looking for, right? Just want to keep the drive moving. You don't need the big play there. Just get to that marker that you described, and he was able to do just that.
3 yards is the gain that time, 2nd and goal.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Pollard will take this one in for an Eagles touchdown. That almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of the season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Fields it right around the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
First down, Brissett. And now here's another interception. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, Blake. That'll be complete to Sermon. Even with that broken tackle, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. They'll give him 4 yards there, and that will bring up 2nd down.
All defense is worried that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. A gain there of 21 yards. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
No daylight for him to run through there, and he ran into the defensive tackle, and that guy blocks a whole lot of daylight as it is. He is truly a big man who just made a big play.
Trap 60.
To throw on 3rd down, Blake. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. A loss of 3 on the sack made by multiple defenders. Aaron Siposs on to punt as he'll get this one away now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is brought in at the 21. Just a 25-yard punt. Not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and an Eagle touchdown. Elliott now to have the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. The kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Taking it about the 1. And able to get this out to the 25. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. There was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Brissett. Checks this one down to Robinson. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. So on 4th down, Washington going to call on Tress Way to punt it away. 36 yards on the punt with no return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. They've gone to the 2nd quarter in Buffalo, and the Chiefs have jumped out to an early lead in their ball game. And we'll keep you abreast of how that one shakes out. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And with decent starting field position, they're maybe only a couple completions away from field goal range. Throwing to start the drive. Blake. Wide open is Watkins. He's got him. He's got room at the 30. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. The big gainer there on the catch and run. 37 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, He's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So a big play as it gets him all the way down to the 20 now for 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. His throw caught at about the 5. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Back to throw. Blake. Touchdown! Tony Pollard in the final seconds of the first half. And the Eagles would extend their lead here just before halftime. Elliott good with a PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. So with 3 seconds remaining in the half, they will line up to kick this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach! Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. So the Eagles with the lead, and they're going to get this football first as the third quarter gets underway. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They go back to Pollard on 2nd down. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Looking left side for Watkins, and he's got it. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. He continues to deliver a first down here. He had 4 catches in the first half, and this one number 5. Off play action. Blake. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Bobby McCain. And the Commanders are going to take over at their own 41. Pretty much everything went their way offensively in the first half, but now an interception on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter.
As we know, the key to everything here, don't get careless with the football. The problem is you've got to stay aggressive as well. So where's the line between being aggressive and attacking and being overly aggressive? I think they just crossed it on that one.
And he's got some space here. A huge play there for Washington. 51 yards. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well, because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
Brissett now. And it's incomplete.
Well, they certainly aren't letting up today, partner, because they've forced big turnovers already. And it's been incredibly tough for them to get yards against, let alone put points up on the board.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. motion. Brissett. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
Gotta figure this is one they need here on 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Brissett. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
Certainly looked like someone was very confident in his ability to fit that one in. I would say he was overconfident because there wasn't a whole lot of separation there. Had that one covered pretty well downfield and knocked it away.
But whatever was said in the locker room during the break must have worked. They forced the turnover. They didn't get the touchdown, Charles, but it does translate into 3 points to begin this second half.
Exactly as they discussed in the locker room at halftime. Get some points to get things kick-started. Now start your half off with some momentum. Gives you something to build on for your next possession.
Take it in at the 3. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to... Inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on 1st down.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Here's the option play now to the left. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down. But sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw, he saw a defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The Eagles send out their punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Almost outkicked his coverage there. 48-yard punt, but 10 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And across the midfield stripe into Eagle territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Another modest gain there on that one. And I think, Charles, you can probably pin part of the deficit on a failure on their part to really get this ground game established.
Yeah, and they've really struggled to be multidimensional in this one, haven't they, partner? Because they have to be extremely one-dimensional now if they hope to get back into this game. They'll have to do it by throwing the football and hope to have success through the air.
And this is intercepted, but they'll say out of bounds. So very close to a turnover there in the end zone.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And a nice job here on special teams. This will be down inside the 10 at the 8-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Let's go, let's go.
On first down, Blake. He finds his man, complete. That's Watkins. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
Timing is so important on a route like this because he's going to line up out right and then cut straight across the field. I think the ball might have come out a count or two too late because by the time he was able to secure it, not much of a chance to turn it upfield.
Working with a 2nd and 3.
Unlock line, unlock line.
They'll run left with Pollard. And he tried to bounce it outside, but they'll stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up.
And that's exactly what you're looking for at the inside linebacker spot. Versatility. He can drop into coverage, or as he did on that last play, use his speed to get to the perimeter and knock the ball carrier for a loss.
Ready.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense.
Hey. Tracking 60.
Looking to throw. Blake. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And they run the option on second down. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there and worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it, most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And they're going to get this down inside the 20.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. So the completion good for 6 yards. And it'll be fourth down.
Such a tough position to defend near the line, even when you add a second defender. But the big man shrugged off the extra body and made the play call a success.
The kick by Elliott is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. We certainly had a sense coming in here that these guys were in for a tough one on the road. That has been how this ball game has played out. They trail big as we continue on now here in this fourth quarter. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. To throw is Brissett. Over the middle, complete. That's Tate. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A gain there of 21 yards. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Brissett. Another catch for Tate. Complete to number 81. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Commanders football as we get back to it. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. From the 41, Brissett. And my goodness, another interception. It's Nakobe Dean with a pick, and the Eagles are going to take possession of the football. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
They go back to Pollard on 2nd down. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that kind of hit will certainly fire up your team both on the field and on the sideline. Tackles for lost yardage, they're always welcome.
So fly, Eagles fly. It's a victory for Philadelphia. Charles, for this losing side, their heads are hanging as they walk off the field today. And really, I mean, we know why. Those 3 turnovers by that offense, that's ultimately what doomed them.
And this is what coaches preach all the time to every team that we ever talk with. Taking care of the ball on offense, trying to take it away on defense. And let's face it, when you give it away 3 times in one game, you make it very difficult for your team to get the W.
So for the Eagles,
if God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted. East Coast and 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. Neither one play games when swinging for them fences. We want the finer things that's expensive. To hit them either close range or at a distance. If God for me, why bother? I got my game from the Godfather. Top of the food chain, rock bottom. and handle my business when it was my problem. G. Flossing with a gold chain. I got my Turkish rope with matching gold things. Bomber jacket in the winter, it's a cold game. I met some East Coast up in Spokane. Some of the realest in this dope game. I got my curly top looking like special ed. Clean fade on the side, bumping that red head. Clean tags when I ride, ducking the feds. East Coast, they get that bread. You you end up dead. Them West Coast, they leave that spread. And now you got all in your dread head.
If God for me, who could be against me? I guess all of that's against me. They the ones stirring up the conflict. They try to make it out like I'm conflicted.
Still trying to the riches.
East Coast and 6'4's hitting switch. It's not a conflict of interest.
Cut it with the business. West Coast rocking them Timberlands, deep up in them trenches. It's no difference. 4th and inches. I'm finna hit a lick and handle business. I got her down, she real vicious. Rock-a-bye, baby, no witness. This is not even a conflict. You on nonsense. Got the same way in Brooklyn and Compton, but with that gang, them make a profit on top. Stay poppin'. Look.